What's going on, guys? Tony here. Welcome to episode 4 of the War Room podcast, where I am joined by a man that I think doesn't need an introduction, but I'm going to introduce him anyways. We're joined by Spliced today. If you guys don't know who he is, potentially all two of you, just go ahead and give yourself a quick rundown, Spliced, of your channel and what you upload.
I make For Honor videos.
Yeah, pretty much. That's coming down to it. That's pretty much it. I've watched Splice for a while now, and the man's hitting really close to 100K. It'd be cool to see him get it maybe before the year's up. So make sure you guys go over, show some love to the man, and his links will be in the description and everything.
Oh, you're shutting me out now. Oh my god.
Yeah, what do you mean? I shout out everybody on here.
Oh, big pogs, dude.
Yeah. So as I do with everybody, I do a little digging on the channel, a little bit, just to see your humble beginnings, what you started with. And I know you for probably at least a year, you did a lot of Halo 5 stuff. And,
yeah, a year and a half.
Yeah, a lot of videos on those. So first question is obviously, why did you start making those? Why did you stop? And then what made you transition to kind of mostly For Honor?
Oh, yikes. Okay. Well, I've always wanted to do YouTube for a very, very long time. Since the beginning, 2005.
Right.
Seeing Smosh making their little lip syncs on the Pokemon song and all that. Been watching YouTube ever since that day. And back then, no one would have had even 100K subs back then. It was unheard of. But anyways, I've been watching YouTube and observing it for many years, and I've always wanted to do it. I've been a fan of video editing and making cinematic related videos. As you see on my channel, I've made a lot of those already.
Right.
But around 2015, this was after I left high school. Wasn't really satisfied with the job I was working at, and I wanted to pursue something that I could actually be entertained by for myself, hobby kind of thing. So I was like, all right, this is the time. I've already been a fan of certain aspects of Halo. I wouldn't say that I was a fan of the actual story, because I ended up playing Halo 2008. It's the first time I started playing it.
Right.
And so I was like, I'm not going to play the campaign. I just want to play the multiplayer. It looked really cool. And immediately got infatuated with the vehicles, because I've always been a vehicle fan.
Right.
Battlefield, Call of Duty 1 days. So from there, I was like, all right, Halo 5 is coming out. They're advertising it like crazy. I already played the beta. It was a lot of fun. And I was like, this is my chance. So as soon as it came out, I decided to record what I know about the vehicles in the game, because I had some sort of knowledge, I thought, and I was like, I'll share this with the world. I didn't see anyone upload anything to do with vehicles only. There was some vehicle related gameplay on some people's videos, but it was for 2 minutes, and then they just go back to boots on the ground. So I was like, all right, well, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna do nothing but vehicles for everyone. And slowly but surely it turned into something, and I didn't even really expect it. And by the time For Honor was coming out, I was watching For Honor I think when they first advertised. I think it was 2015 or 2014. I don't know. It was sometime
it was 2015.
Yeah, it was E3.
Yeah.
The dude comes out. He's like, ah.
Yeah. The good old days.
Yeah, I met that guy in real life, by the way.
Really? Awesome. Oh my god,
yeah.
that's like a bucket list item.
Yeah, I think it was this year too. Yeah, I met him too. It was pretty awesome. But anyways, so I've more than Halo and shooters, I've always been a super big fan, diehard fan of anything to do with medieval or medieval fantasy. It's one of the things that I just absolutely love. But I'm not one of those people that likes to, be all nerdy about it and be like, yo, man, this is the way it should have been. And
it's just fucking cool.
Yeah. Oh, it's just badass. I love it. So when they announced For Honor, I was like, oh my God, a AAA game that has skill-based fighting, and I can make myself look like a badass medieval character. I'm like, I'm fucking game. I was following it. I signed up for the alphas, the betas. I did all that. And when the game came out, I was already very, very bored of Halo. The game got really stale. The devs stopped updating it. And my gaming setup was really bad at the time. And it was just such a hassle to record and edit the thing. If you were to see it back then, man, you would wonder how I even managed to upload videos. But there's a lot of burning passion that was behind it that kept me going. But anyways, when For Honor came out, I decided, all right, I'm just gonna make the switch, and I just started uploading For Honor. I had no idea what to upload. I had no idea. All I knew is that I just wanted to play that fucking Lawbringer because it was so badass looking, and I just played him constantly. I played with some friends, and from there, I got some ideas of what to upload, and turned into what it is now.
Yeah, dude, and you can see you definitely have grinded out this game, and all the games that you made for very very consistently with all the videos and whatnot. But what was the point during Halo, or was it like For Honor when you were kind of just like, oh shit, people are watching me, and then like you're like, maybe I need to upgrade all my setup, need to buy new equipment, new mics, and all that stuff. Was that early on, or did that not come till later?
Mm, I didn't really think about that, but no, I think I started getting like, that feeling of, oh my god, I don't know what to do. I have pressure now. People are watching me, people are subbing. At first it was like, oh my god, this is amazing. People are actually commenting. I'm getting likes and stuff.
Right.
I'd spam the F5 key, just refreshing. Oh my god, did I get a like? Did I get a like yet? And I get a like. I'm like, oh my god. And I check back every 10 minutes. I get like 2 likes, and oh, now I have 3 likes. It's like, oh my god, it's amazing. And then I get a comment. I was like, ah. But anyways, I think the moment started around when I got like, I'd say maybe 500 subs,
Right.
to like 1,000, something like that. When I was like, oh my god, dude, I'm getting subs so fast. I was getting like 10 subs a day. It was still amazing because it's like,
right,
oh
yeah.
my god, this is something I put out and people are watching it, and it was the greatest feeling ever. That's all I ever wanted to do. So when that started happening, I was thinking like, okay, I'm going to put more effort into trying harder at the game to get the people the best gameplay that they can ever see, and see what I could do with that, and then work off my editing skills to get myself better, push myself, see if people like my editing. Which whenever I upload like a montage kind of video and people put their positive comments on it, it's like that's probably the best feeling for me, is because it's my own art, my own craft, that I put effort and lots of care into these videos, and make sure that there's no problems with them. So whenever I get these like comments, it feels so good. But I mean, getting better equipment and wanting to get better equipment are two different.
Right.
I can tell you, for the entire time that I've been doing Halo, I made nothing. I was not doing really good at all. I was at a very bad state in terms of living conditions. I was living under my dad. I still am, but he's rarely at home, so I'm mostly at home. I'm taking care of a lot of the bills right now that I can handle because I'm now at a state that I can.
Right.
And I have nothing to thank but just my subs and everyone who's been watching my videos. But so it's I was so passionate about Halo that I just kept pushing it every day and trying so hard to make these videos for people to enjoy. But at the same time was barely scraping the internet bill alone, and I couldn't even pay rent. And my dad at this point, right when For Honor came out, he was like, all right, this is it. If you can't pay the rent or the internet every month, I'm going to have to cut you off, and you'll have to be on your own. Because every day he's like telling me to get a job. Fair play, right?
Right.
It was something that's like, you're living under your parents. You're 19. It's like your parents are gonna look at you like, what the fuck? What are you doing? But my dad's very supportive, and he gave me the space that I need, and thank God that he did, because after I started uploading For Honor, everything changed. I started getting tons of subscribers, tons of views. Everyone was coming to me. As soon as I uploaded that Lawbringer guide, that was like, it's just like hitting the jackpot right there. That I even realized it just exploded to 100K views within a week. Everyone was like, oh my god, thank you for the guide. And then I got like 5K subs off of that alone. It was crazy. And then from there it just kept going. And then YouTube started looking at me and be like, hey, looks like you actually need some. So they gave me a good decent check, and from there I was able to start paying off bills, and then later on was able to change my monitors, get a little bit of an upgrade for my PC, and from there I was able to keep it going.
That's awesome. I'll tell you right now, the moment when I knew I hit it big. I uploaded a video called High Level Kensei Duels. I was Reputation 2, and I did nothing optimally.
I saw that, dude.
And I got fucking roasted. I got absolutely roasted. I had no idea what I was doing, but I was like, whatever. It was like less than a month after the game came out, and I was just like, I'm doing this. I'm doing like light, side lights after a heavy or after a light parry and stuff, and it was not a good time. But for
Well,
some reason the algorithm was
let's
like,
let's be fair. The Kensei was not really in the best state back then.
yeah,
So
he was a
I
bit
mean,
yikes.
I did that too. I was looking at other people's videos. I think at the time I saw a lot of True Talent. He kept showing up in the
Hmm.
recommended, and he had a lot of that, advanced duels, high level duels, like in the title, and he was getting lots of views for that. And I was not really the one that like chases views, but I was like, I mean, I was in this state where it's like I want to get myself into a stable kind of thing for honor, so I didn't want to worry so much. So I was like, all right, I guess I'll do a little bit. All right, I'll do a little bit. So when I got to Reputation 6 with Lawbringer, I called it Advanced Lawbringer Duels. It was so horrendous. The gameplay, looking back at it, it's so I didn't parry a single thing in that game. I don't even
Yeah.
think. I was dying to like the pre-nerf, pre-buff Orochi
Oh
and stuff.
yeah.
It was bad. It
Yeah.
was bad.
You got to start
Got
somewhere
roasted for
though.
that.
But
Oh yeah, yeah.
so with YouTube, obviously now that you're doing better, you're doing it full time, and you're nearing in on that shiny silver play button. Um, do you have any goals for the future? I'm kind of interested to see this because you are the biggest guest that I have had on there, and a lot of people are just still kind of like determining if they're going to do the YouTube full time and if they're going to kind of put more effort into it based on the other people I've talked to. So I'm just curious, what are your goals for the future since you're already at one of, obviously it's not insanely massive compared to a lot of, people on YouTube with like over millions of subs, but 100K is no joke. So do you have any goals coming up in the short term or long term?
Oh man, I feel like I'm at like one of those job interviews. What do you see yourself in 5 years from now?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to hire you after this.
Yeah. Okay. So I do have plans for when I get to 100K, but I'm not going to disclose that because I want it to be more sentimental thing.
Hmm.
100K is something I never really actually believed I would get to, at least in this time frame. I've been doing YouTube for 3 years now, since 2015, so that's actually pretty decent. I'm not gonna lie, I do kind of think that in 3 years, 100K is a little bit slow compared to other YouTubers who like they explode. But in the way that I'm doing it, I like doing it like the slow, but like building the audience and
Right.
letting them know that I'm me, and if you're subscribing for me, and I'm not gonna be like some fucking gift card fake giveaway
Oh
person
my
on the
God.
outside kind
Free
of thing.
V-Bucks.
Yeah, like make sure you subscribe. And just
Yeah.
like if you guys enjoy my content, that's all that matters. I really just want you guys to watch. And but for the future, I don't look at a sub count as like, you know, like a phase. Like after 100K, like okay, now it's time to do like something completely different. It's something where it's more about, I'd say, my age and how I grow up and how I develop my skills, who I meet in real life, or who I meet online. So I think really like the answer that I'm going to give you is I'm just really going along with it right now, but that doesn't mean that I'm not thinking about the future. I think about
Hmm.
ideas of like, well, am I going to be doing gaming forever? Which I don't really think I want to, because after playing video games for since I've been born, I've started to notice the downward shift in video games when it comes to developers and how they
Hmm.
make them. It's been more of a how much money can we make out of this
Yeah.
game from our fan base rather than how well of a game can we make, you know?
Yeah, no, I
Uh,
agree with you on that.
and like when I was in high school, I think that was like the best time for video games for me. It was when microtransactions started to come into
Right.
video games, but they were barely there, and there you still had those really big, passionate like Skyrim, and for me, Twisted Metal for the PS3 is like all these kind of things that were coming out, and yeah. Well, I'm kind of losing track on what I was saying, but pretty much I'm not really thinking I'm going to be on video games forever, but I did think it was a good start to be
Hmm.
uh to start off because they give you everything you need and you just have to record the screen.
Right.
Whereas like if you're to do stuff in real life, you need money for the equipment. I don't have any of those equipments, and I don't know how to operate any of it. And you need people that's surrounded around you to help you and make your videos more lively, and also have an idea of what you want to do. Like I could
Right.
try to do like vlogging, but like if I were to do that, it was like my sister told me, why don't you have an Instagram account? And I was like, I don't know. How about the fact that if all I'd upload on my Instagram is me just working at my computer, because that's all I do every day. Is like
Yeah.
about to make another video and like show like me selfieing in front of like Sony Vegas or some shit. Like I don't do anything like super interesting in my life. Of course that's something I need to change, but I can't just, snap my fingers and then boom, I'm suddenly like this person that's doing like everything, like The Rock or something. I can't just like do
Right.
that.
Right.
It
Yeah.
also stems from like interests and stuff. A lot of interests I have is just stuff online, and it's like, well, damn, dude, maybe I should change that. I don't know. I think really like just to close off that statement is I'm just treading the water right now, and making sure that the people who are subscribed to me are satisfied. I'm making sure that they're happy, but at the same time, I want to make stuff that I'm going to look back and be happy and proud that I made that.
Well, I think that's good. I definitely think it's a good idea to keep your avenues open as well,
Yeah.
because you need to constantly be adapting in here. But transitioning a little bit, we're gonna go into a little bit of For Honor discussion. All right, I asked this question to Flux, and I'm actually gonna ask two questions. Well, I guess a two-parter because it's based around two different characters that you play. Obviously, we knew Raiders was a little trash at the moment, but also
Uh-oh.
you are a big player of one Lawbringer and two Centurion, right? Both of these characters you play pretty
Yeah.
frequently. Obviously, Lawbringer being your main. Um,
Mm-hmm.
if you had full control over a rework, obviously it
Oh
probably
no.
wouldn't happen. Just what would you like to see? All right,
Here comes the dislikes. Oh, no.
nah, fuck those people. Just lay it on the line, dude. Give them 100 MS unblockable light attacks. Do it.
Okay, so I'm just gonna start off this whole conversation, this building into this kind of thing where it's like I don't like to give my opinions on the game, and that's mainly because I don't believe my opinions benefit the game in any way. Like it's just something that a lot of the things that I come up with for Lawbringer is stuff that obviously through experience of playing a character, these are things that I think would make him better. But at
Mm-hmm.
the same time, it's not really anything I really thought like or theorized or brainstorm like put it into a simulation like, okay, what if I use this against this character? Would
Okay.
it work? I just thought of it in general. The other thing is I don't believe for this game, and this is not to upset anyone, this is both the player base, community, and developers, but I don't believe that giving feedback and opinions at this point in the game is worth my time. I actually think it's a waste of time because I think at this point it's not in the interest of, not saying the people who want to balance the game like from the devs and stuff, but I'm talking about the people that are above that give them the budget to do so. I don't think it's in their interest to let this be a thing. Like we could tell the devs, hey, here all these problems, right? And they're just like, yeah, that's great, but then it comes down to if they're even allowed to do that, right?
Right. Yeah.
So I'm just at the state where it's like whatever happens in this game, I'm fine with. Even if they if they buff Conqueror again, whatever, I'll just make a dumb meme video out of it. But like at this point, I could, even if they like made Lawbringer viable, it's like whatever. But with that being said, I do have ideas
Right.
to
Okay.
lay out, and so just keep all that previous in mind. I just think that these opinions I'm just throwing them into the void at this point, right?
Right.
But here we go. Okay. So it's already been confirmed that they're going to remove the shove on block with Lawbringer, which is kind of unfortunate for me because I really like that. The whole purpose of Conquer is that he's supposed to, or Conquer Lawbringer is that he's supposed to be a countering character, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you remove shove on block, then he's just going to become like every other static guard character. So what I thought about that was like I was trying to think about it. I was like, what are they trying to do with Lawbringer if they remove that, right? And the only thing I could think of is they're going to turn him into an aggressive character, which if they do, I don't look forward to that. I don't want Lawbringer to be an offensive character
Okay.
because for every person who's used Lawbringer since day one has grown to be a defensive person that does not attack often. A Lawbringer's not there to like fucking 400 ms light into like whatever,
Yeah.
It's into imagine him doing like a top light and then going into like Lawbringer stance and he just fucking kicks you. No thanks. So them removing that, I know everyone's gonna be like, but shove on block is so cancerous. And it's like, kinda, not really. He doesn't really get anything off of shove. Like the only thing that shove on block is good for is static guard characters that don't have dash attacks. Like Centurion. If you shove a Centurion, right? It's good, right?
Right.
You can get maybe a light. It's like 15 damage. But a good Centurion would do double heavy in a row. So then by the time you shove him, he does 25 damage of heavy damage to you, right?
Right.
And that's where like the skill kind of thing, but it's also a crawl. I'm not gonna lie, it's a total crawl to fight a Lawbringer. That's because I believe that everything else that he has is pretty bad. So let's start off with the most trash move that he has for 1v1s at least, the long arm. It was a simple change that I thought that would work for him. So the number one thing I want to do for Lawbringer is A, don't increase damage or nerf damage. B, don't increase speed or lower speed. Everything should just be normal for that. What he should get is things that combo into each other. So for example, if he does long arm, instead of it just being whatever it is, one, you got to increase the tracking a little bit, like just a little bit, because it only tracks if the person instantly dodges, which is the same as a GB. So it's like, why even long arm if you can just GB and then whatever. So increase the tracking a little bit of long arm. Give it hyper armor for whatever reason. I don't know. Just like if you're in like a situation where like a 2v1 and then you accidentally, or if you want to long arm soft feint. So like, well, actually I'll get back to that later. I don't think long arm needs heavy armor that much. Compared to like, I don't know, the unblockable at the end. Heavy armor or hyper armor is a weird subject. I don't really like it, but it does have its place. So long arm, and then have two things. One, you can feint it, hard feint it. Two, soft feint it into an undodgeable side heavy. I think that would be such a good idea because it would be not a fast attack, right? You have to be patient with the long arm and wait for it to see what he's going to do. But there's three things you can do with that already, right? You can let it go. You can soft feint into a side heavy that if they try to like dodge or whatever, dodge like earlier or whatever, it'll track them. Or if they dodge backward, it'll track. And hard feinting. So like if you do a long arm and then you feint and you GB, or feint and you go for a heavy and then you feint that, I don't know, whatever. You just like mix ups like that. So that's like what I think long arm needs. I think that's like one of the main things that would make it really good. So here's another one, and this one is I just think everyone's going to disagree with it so much. It's one of these things that I stem back from. Again, I don't think my opinions are great. I think if a heavy, like when he does a heavy, you know how slow they are, right?
Yeah. Extremely
if
slow.
a heavy lands on both hit and block, he should be able to shove. I think that would work.
Is it currently only if you get it confirmed hit?
Damage.
Okay.
Yeah, damage.
Gotcha.
So if like let's say I do a heavy and you block and you don't parry, then it's like, oh, I can shove you, because like I just feel that works. That makes sense for the character. Like if we're going for realism for the characters and understand how they work, that's a really big weapon. And it should stagger anyone, right? Like if you block and then he can just shove you, that would make sense for me. And when you shove, there's no guaranteed damage. And that's what I love about Lawbringer, is that his unblockable or his bash attack is not guaranteed damage. I personally think any character that's guaranteed damage, Warlord, Headbutt, Shaolin's Kick, Conqueror's Shield Bash, are retarded moves. Sorry for saying that word, but it's dumb. It's free damage on fast attacks is dumb, and it just promotes doing that same attack over and over and over again. Ignore the
Right.
entire kit because that works. Anyways, we're not talking about Conqueror. So that's pretty much that for Lawbringer.
I actually
Um,
have one little question in regards to
yeah.
that, based on what you said. I'm just curious though, because do you think that Lawbringer still might kind of fall towards the weaker side if you don't give him some form of initiation? Because you look at it, basically every Wulin has it. Knights can have it with like a Glad Zone Warden Shield Bash.
Oh
Kensei has
yes.
it with Pommel Strike, all that stuff.
Yeah. Thank you for mentioning that. I actually completely the other idea I had for Lawbringer was increase the shove speed a little bit. That was like the one speed thing that I would change about Lawbringer. Slow that fucking thing
Yeah,
is.
it's insanely easy to dodge.
Yeah.
You can't do it from neutral.
I'd say like the same as Gladiator's shield bash thing.
Right.
Maybe like the same as that speed. Not at all. Do not make it the Conqueror speed. I swear to God.
Yeah, that's a yikes for me if that happened.
Yeah. But I'd say that would be like the only speed thing. I know I said I don't want to increase speed of him, but like that is probably the one thing because it doesn't guarantee damage,
Right.
and it's fairly easy to react to most of the shove related things. Maybe make the side heavy after shove undodgeable. I don't know. I don't really know, to be honest. Like, even though I have so much experience with Lawbringer, again, this is why I don't like to say my
Right.
opinions on characters because I just don't think, in the long run, I just don't think these things would actually work. I'm putting trust in
I
whoever's
gotcha.
designing the character. So there's that. And then a more general thing that also does affect Lawbringer that I actually believe we need in the game, and this is something that I will say my opinion is good on: stamina. Every character needs more stamina except for Scent. I don't care what anyone says. This game, you can't aggress on people. Have you ever done like a combo and like boom, you have no stamina? You just have to sit there and wait for your stamina to come back.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going against a character like Conqueror that
Try
drains
throwing
stamina.
a charged heavy on Shigoki and getting it parried. You have no stamina.
Ah, dude, it's rough, man. Like I don't understand why there's so many stamina draining abilities in this game. And stuff like when you're out of stamina, Conqueror's Shield Bash removes stamina or stuns it. Like that's
Yeah.
dumb. You should always gradually gain your stamina back no matter what when you're out of stamina. That's fair. And
Hmm.
it does not feel like when you go against a Conqueror, for example, and you know that he's going to drain stamina from shield bashing you, you don't want to go below like half stamina
Oh, easily.
because or even close to half stamina because if he parries that, even then, if he parries an attack, boom, now you have no stamina. So it's
Right.
like, damn, dude. It blows. It's one of the big annoyances that I've ever had since the beginning of this game and has never been changed. And then when he got reworked, they didn't change any of that for until now. It's still not changed. And it's like it's mind-blowing to me that it's like this is such a small thing, but such a big problem at the same time. Such a small thing to change, but it has such a big problem in the game that I think if they remove these small contingencies and problems in the game, it would be so much more enjoyable to fight these characters. It's like whenever I see this enemy, when I see the Conqueror or like Warlord, I just get a big sigh because I know it's just gonna be a huge hassle when I'm out of stamina. I'm just like panic. It's like press the fucking button at the right time. It's
Yeah, no,
yeah.
I completely agree with you that half the battle is just fighting your stamina consumption and making sure you manage it. But we talked about Lawbringer. Would you make any changes towards Centurion, or would you leave him at how he is? Because I know he's a little bit better, at least in terms of like damage output and everything, than the Lawbringer. He's a little bit easier, I guess, to manipulate and control. But would you change anything?
Uh, he needs an initiator. His only openers is just heavies.
Right.
I don't really know about Scent, to be honest. I'm not gonna be the one that voices the opinion on Scent.
Okay.
I'll leave that to like someone else, maybe like Toxic TV. He's like rep 60 with Scent now. But like other people, maybe even the pro players like Ellernack and these
Hmm.
people, they definitely probably have like a whole book of changes for these characters just hidden away, ready to just unleash upon us one day. I don't know. But dude, I wouldn't know what to tell you about Scent. The only reason why he was so good in season 2 is because everyone was still new at the game. If Scent, I swear to God, if Scent was what he is back then today, he would be trash still. The only thing that would make him good, the only thing that people liked or thought that Scent was so insane about was that he staggered jabs on the wall.
Hmm.
But the main thing that I think was really troublesome about that was when you get into a corner, it was an insta kill because you can't get out of it.
Right.
But
I
even
Yeah.
still, like stunning jab into the wall was a huge problem. I think that was really, yeah, it's not good because like it's like 100 damage if you jab into the wall, 20 damage, jab again, and then you deep impact and then knock them down into Eagle Town. It's like 89 to like 90
Yeah.
damage on one wall spot. That's bad. That's yeah, no. He needs something. I don't know what it is. I want to skip that to be honest.
No, it's completely understandable. So I'll move along right now then. So I know that you kind of mentioned a little bit before about like, the devs and stuff could, like listen to our feedback all they want, but at this time it's like, can they even make any, decisions or whatnot based on what we said, because there's the devs, but obviously then they have their higher ups that ultimately control their budget, what they're able to do. But, obviously you've been dedicated to this game since, since day one. I kind of want to ask, like, do you think the devs kind of support content creators enough, or, even listen to us in regards to feedback and suggestions, or like, when they, one thing that I've like noticed is like, they do like a big tournament or something. They host like a tournament for a new season,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll have people who maybe play the game once every 3 months or something. And I always,
Okay.
that always kind of like rubbed me the wrong way. Not that I wanted to be on it myself particularly, but I
Oh,
think they should have
I
like,
can address
yeah.
that. Yeah. That actually that just has to do with nah, that doesn't bug me at all, dude. At all. That has nothing to do with the control of the devs of the game at all. That is totally higher up PR stuff. The reason why they do this is marketing. It's
Yeah.
to bring in bigger audiences. They bring in these people that have 5 mil subs, and
Hmm.
all the 5 mil subs see this game like, oh, I want to play it, and they bring in player base. Easiest, easiest solution to that. It just makes sense. It's on a live stream. They have all their creators that they reached out. Hey, promote this game, you know, and like if they brought For Honor people like me or something
Hmm.
onto the stream, it's like who are we advertising to? The people who already play For Honor. Like it's the thing I did like though, the ones that I like more than the more recent tournament stuff that they've been doing
Hmm.
is the ones where they do an actual competitive tournament and then afterwards they have the big boys like the big 5 mil sub
Right.
people, they then promote the new content. That makes total sense to me. That's great. I liked that in between, but I think the reason why they don't do that anymore is simply because the game's popularity has gone really far down, to the point where there isn't that much hype around the game anymore. So why bother waste this budget on bringing all these people over to like our studio to do all this stuff? And like I was there, like it's a lot of work that they put into.
Hmm.
And when it comes to effort into the content creators and like giving them, you know, like praise and stuff like that,
Right.
I think they did a really good job when it comes to that. I'm really grateful for all these things these opportunities that they gave me. I would say that I did mess it up quite a bit though, but not gonna talk about that. But if I had to say something to the devs, if they ever do see this, I just want to thank them for all the great times that they gave me. Their game has definitely like changed my life for a great amount, and it was definitely a good experience that I had in this game, and I have no hate towards the devs or whatever. I don't believe that they want their game to die. I don't believe that they don't care. They definitely do. I just believe that they have their hands tied or that priorities are set on other things, other projects. And, as a
Right.
AAA company, you can't expect like these little tiny bug problems, even if they've been around since the beginning of the game, to be a major issue. The major issues for them is making the game better and making it, a thing for everyone to enjoy and market it as a product. It's a product they're trying to sell. It's as if McDonald's was like, hey, um, like, hey guys, we're gonna give like this fucking burger out for free because people want it now. Like people want like it so much. We're just gonna give it for free. It's like no, they still have to make money.
Right.
So they're still going to like make new products, like new food to give out, but they're gonna keep the old shit. So if like people complain, for example, if like people are like, oh man, this Big Mac fucking sucks, and they're just like, all right, don't buy it then. It's like that. It's kind of similar. It's a weird analogy I just made up, but I don't know. I think people don't understand that at the end of the day, you know, the people who make the game, the people who design the game and all that, they are not in control of, you know, what they're supposed to make.
Right.
They're told to make these things. They weren't
Mhm.
told they weren't like, hey guys, let's make Chinese heroes or whatever. No, I'm pretty sure it was a higher up that was like, all right, guys, we're going to cater to the Eastern audience now. Let's make something to promote it for them to buy the game. So they're like, okay, let's make the Wulin, the Chinese heroes. It made sense.
Right.
Totally made sense. Like if they made more knights, samurai, and Viking, it'd be great for the current player base. People would love it. But it doesn't advertise to anyone else. Like the reason why they opened up with samurai, knights, and Vikings is because that's what they're advertising to. They're advertising the West, like the mainstream audience, the Americans and stuff
Right.
like that, and of course Japan.
Yeah, obviously. Honestly, I knew what you were gonna say when I asked that question because I knew the same thing as well because I completely understand as to why they did, you know, why they bring in the, you know, the people with the higher accounts. Obviously, they're trying to bring more people into a game. When it comes down to it, it's basically, it's simply just like supply and demand, right? You know, you get a game, you know, that's older than For Honor, like Rainbow Six, right? But yet it's still got that super high player base. So people are continuously demanding for that new content. And although there is still a pretty passionate community out there for Honor, simply, you know, when it comes to that, it's a business at the end of the day, and they're trying to get the most money that they can possible in order to fund future projects and develop other games. So if they have a game that's super successful, they're more likely going to tweak it and balance it and update it more frequently. And, you know, when it comes to this, you know, we're on year 2. They've even announced a little bit of new updates for year 3 and everything. Like there's only so much budget that they're going to get into this game. And if they put different, you know, assets into this game for a certain amount of time, if something just doesn't stick after a while, they're just going to kind of stop it. So they just need, that's obviously why I know they give like codes and tournaments and stuff to people who might not necessarily play the game regularly. But I wanted people to understand that as well, to hear it from another source, because I've mentioned that as well. But it seems to be like a conversation that still comes up quite frequently as to like, you know, why don't they just put X content creator in there? Because we are appealing to the exact same market if they did that.
Yeah, here's here's like 2 other things about what they do for the community I think is really good. So obviously the community corner on their live stream, they do it every single week. I don't think people understand like how insane that actually is for devs to do, to be on a live stream every single week and involve the community and talk about the game. Like obviously there's going to be down times, like some like Warriors Dens are going to be bad, like there's not going to be anything in there, but like that doesn't mean you have to complain about it. Like just because, you know, they said that they're going to be there every week doesn't mean that they said like, oh, there's going to be updates every week, you know. I think it's really cool that I can make a video and then the devs see it and then they show it to everyone. Like I never thought that was going to be a thing. I was like, wow, dude, I can actually advertise my content like that.
Yeah, no, it's super cool.
But not like I wasn't like intentionally like, hey devs, put this on the Warriors Den. They just grab it and they put it on themselves. And I'm like, okay, sure. But that's really cool. I just think that that kind of interaction, regardless of them just reading memes, you know, it's like I do understand that when it comes to, oh man, the devs are not listening to us about changes and stuff like that. It's like I don't think they're not listening. I just think that they can't say anything about it. It's like things, right? It's like the devs are probably reading. It's just like, can we talk about this? And they're just like, Wulin, we got to worry about that. That's all, you know.
Yeah.
So anyways, the other thing too is they invited multiple content creators, myself included, to an early access. Like we have this ability sometimes, not all the time, obviously, to test out stuff before it's released. I never thought that was gonna happen. I was blown away. This is the first time I was invited was season 3, and that's when I got to meet like Zero Crack and Roadie Bros and all these other people in the time, and it was amazing, dude. It was fucking amazing. Like, I was blown away that they're just like, hey, you make For Honor content. Do you want to try the game out a week before? And I was like, fuck yeah, this is fucking insane, dude.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I mean, and I took full advantage of that. I was like, okay, well, if I can post stuff a week before it comes out, I want to cover every angle of this. So I recorded all the gameplay. I made guides for the characters as well, and I just like I put it out, and I'm just like, there you go. This is what the character is as its fullest. And of course, with every new season that came out, I got more decent at the game when it comes to basic mechanics. So I was able to learn the characters within like 2 hours. When the shaman first came out, I fully learned her in 2 hours, and then I was like, okay, I can make a guide about her in early access, which is pretty amazing.
Right. No, I think the developers themselves are actually quite transparent, and they do care about their game, obviously, and I think that sometimes gets taken for granted with people just in any situation like to boost up like the negatives, and it's like that if you have like a YouTube video, for every 100 positive comments or something, you get like one negative comment, and that one still kind of ruins your day, and that's the one that like people bring up and stuff. That's what happens. That's what happens for like games and stuff as well. But not to get too deep into that, I'm going to transition into, well, not really a super bright question, but given the current state of the game and everything that goes on to it, I'm just curious, do you enjoy playing it still?
Do you want the short answer or the long answer?
Give me the answer. I said, people ask me, and I'm like, given the certain day, sometimes I'm having a good time. Maybe I'm hanging out with some buddies. Other times I want to actually just die. That's just,
right.
that's,
well, both short and long answer is going to be no. I don't enjoy the game anymore. It's been evident on both my streams and no, not my videos. I'm always optimistic about my videos. It's something when it comes to videos and streams is stuff that becomes unlisted. So it's like whatever I event, that's just me. If I get mad, whatever, it's not a video. When I make a video, it's something that, people that come into my channel will see, and it's going to be there. So I try not to be, just like a fucking negative Nancy all the time on my videos, which I'm not really. Like when I'm off stream, I'm more chill. When I'm on stream, I feel like there's pressure because, obviously
right.
people are watching you. So I get mad a lot more easier because it's like, oh shit, I don't want to be trash at the game in front of 300 people. So I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna try hard, And then if I fail, I'm already pent up and like really like stressed. Like I'm just, and then I get fucking mad when I die. I'm like, and then, the chat gets mad at me, or the chat is like, oh, are you okay? I'm like, oh, fuck, no, don't be mad at me, chat. And then it just spirals out of control from there. And I just look like some emo kid or something. That's like, I want to kill myself. But like, okay, here's just the honest thing. Okay, the game for a whole year, like I'd say season 5 started to be the downfall for me. But I don't hate the game. I'm just really bored of it. I mean, how many duel games am I going to play before like I realize, okay, this is just the same shit every time I play it? The game, like this kind of game, like compared to like Fortnite, for example, don't get triggered in chat, guys. I'm just gonna give an analogy, okay? I know Fortnite, don't mention it, but anyways, so Fortnite in comparison to For Honor. So when you play For Honor, let's say you play a duel or even Dominion or Breach, whatever. At the end of the day, in any of these games, the fighting of the game comes down to locking onto someone and doing moves and mix-ups to try to kill them. Right. There isn't that many mix-ups. There isn't that many moves for every character. All of them, they don't have a lot of moves, and so because of that, the mix-ups, the gameplay becomes very tic-tac-toe like, where it's like, you do a heavy, I'm going to react this way. You do light, I'm going to react. If you do this, and it's like, when you have over 2,000 hours of experience on this kind of game, It's like I know what every situation is going to be. I know how it's going to end up. Doesn't mean I'm going to win them, but I just know how they're going to work. I just
Right.
know what when I go against a Conqueror, it's just going to be he's going to dodge forward a bunch of times, and it's going to either be a GB or a fucking shield bash, and I'm just going to have to keep spamming my dodge and and then
Yeah.
you have to deal with the bugs that go in with the reflex guards and the stamina and everything else that just
Mhm.
like piles on top. And it's like now that I'm aware of every single bug that's in the game and every single situation in the game, it turns less into wow, this is a great medieval game to wow, holy shit, this character's fucking annoying. Can you kill it, please?
Right.
Like,
I mean,
and yeah, and
okay,
then
continue.
so there you go. And yeah, anyways, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I think it's attributed to, this game looks awesome, right? Obviously, no one can really knock on that, but it's just a genre that hasn't been done. It's a fighting game that has like FPS type game modes in it and stuff. It's like they instituted the stuff like that. Like no other game is like this. You can't really compare For Honor to a different game. Like you can't compare it really to like a Mortal Kombat or a Soul Calibur because it's simply just not the same type of fighting game, and
Mm-hmm.
you can't really just with the game modes and everything, you can't really do it. So that people can just make an FPS. You can hop on different FPSs. It's a tried and true genre. That's why they continue to make them. That's why you continue to see like the 12th version of Call of Duty and like the eighth or ninth version of Battlefield just releasing and all that stuff. So like I like how you said you kind of know the situations already. Like those ones always have a bit of randomness to it based on how
Yeah.
the game is played out. And this one, I just, I think it's just because this isn't a developed genre at the moment. It's almost still like this is like the beta test for this type of genre to see if like a game like games like this could be also made in the future with a similar play style.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I completely agree with you in point. That's just kind of what I wanted to say.
Yeah, the thing that I was gonna like compare it to Fortnite is just like the moment to moment combat will always be different, or almost always at least. And they're always updating the game every single week. Like obviously the company is different. They're in early access, which gives them the ability to update the game whenever they want on both console and PC.
Hmm.
But yeah, they're just loopholing it right now, which is really smart of them. But like at the same time, there's always new things being added to the game like all the time. So there's never a moment where you're like, okay, I know what's going to happen in this fight.
Right.
Unless if you've been playing the game like 20 hours a day, and there will be times when you just like if like these kind of players. But there's been so many times that I've watched these like top players that they go into a fight and they're just like, yeah, I know how this is going to turn out, but then all of a sudden, boom, everything flips around on their head and they're just like, holy shit, I'm about to die now. And anything can happen, and it has to do with a lot of you have to pay attention a lot in that game. You have to know what you're doing, and at the same time, you have to be keeping an eye on the enemy. When it comes to Frauner, it's like you lock onto the enemy and you're just like, all right, now it's time for this really boring like turtle like stare into the eyes. I'm not gonna let an attack go because you're gonna parry it because it's so easy to parry. And
Right.
then you just sit there because you're like, oh, I'll just react to you instead because it'll be easier for me to get damage. And
Hmm.
I I'm not bashing the game for this. I'm just saying that when it comes to moment to moment combat, over 2,000 hours on Frauner and over 2,000 hours on Fortnite, one of these games you're going to be having a different time every time you do it, and whereas the other one is just like
Right.
it's just the same tic tac toe.
So not really to go on like the I guess the Fortnite train, but into this next question. So you've done other content with your channel as you've kind of have still done For Honor. I know you streamed Fortnite kind of consistently a couple months ago. A lot
Mm-hmm.
a lot of your streams are Fortnite and stuff, and I know you're streaming like Skyrim recently. Do you have fears when trying to push out content on new games that are different? And to an extent, do you kind of just feel that people just receive that stuff negatively and feel like you're almost obligated at this point to you know play For Honor until either it becomes the biggest game in the world or it like dies, or do you just kind of like there hasn't been maybe a game out yet that's really grabbed your interest as much that you've wanted to make content on?
Yikes, dude! Oh my god, this
It's a,
question,
it's a big question, I know.
uh, dude. There's not a day, there's not a minute that goes by that I'm not thinking about my YouTube channel, the future of it, how it will go, and just looking at the view counts and like freaking out sometimes. It's a lot of things where I just have to like sit back and be like, all right, I just got to remember why I started YouTube
Mm-hmm.
and just stick by that. But it becomes a lot different when you're getting older in life, and also you start getting more responsibilities packed onto you.
Right.
So a lot of responsibilities that are tied to bills. And so now it's like, okay, YouTube has become sort of like a careerish kind of thing for me,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm pushing it. But now the game's dying, which means now my channel's dying, and I'm like, shit, dude. And there's no other games that I want to go to right now, and it's like, and I'm not even enjoying For Honor anymore. And now my fans now know that I'm not enjoying For Honor anymore. So now they're like, "Oh, I don't want to watch you anymore because you're all upset about the game." I'm just like, "Fuck, man." And it's yeah, I'm thinking about the channel every single day. There's not a moment that goes by. Your question right there that I'm
Mm-hmm.
not thinking about my channel. I do panic about it sometimes, but at the end of the day, at the end of the entire year, at the end of my entire existence, dude, I decided to do YouTube for fun. It is something that I want to do because it's something I want to look back at in the future in the future of my life and enjoy what I've made,
Right.
and more of a memory bank. So if I die, like when my channel, I'm talking about channel. If my channel dies like tomorrow and no one watches me anymore and people just disappear, then it will really suck. It'll probably hurt the most because it's a part of my life. It's like it is my life, YouTube. So um yeah, it would really suck, but I'll just keep pushing forward and see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, I think yeah, sometimes I think everyone really starts YouTube to usually when they're having fun. If you're starting it for other reasons, then you're probably not going to get anywhere. Um, if you just simply start like, hey, I want to do this to make money, then that's I think is the wrong mindset. But I mean, with other games and stuff, I don't really want to provide my own advice and stuff. But I mean, like I recently over like the past month have just started like uploading like additional stuff like Dead by Daylight is a game that I was like have really been interested in, and I took a long break from that game and I've recently gotten back into it. And honestly, I'd say probably consistently I enjoy playing that game more, but it's always weird when you have a game that kind of people have known you for, right? You've obviously spent time to build up that community, and anytime you institute or bring in like a foreign game that you haven't seen, you're like starting from square one, and it can just kind of seem overwhelming at points because I'll upload a video from like Dead by Daylight and maybe gets like 2K views or sometimes more, but 4 hour videos usually get 20, sometimes 20 plus K pretty consistently, and obviously
Mm-hmm.
saying that kind of sucks to see, but it's almost just like you have to rebuild yourself because like you're putting yourself in a niche first with like the single game that you're in, and if you don't try to expand on it, you're just gonna be that niche channel, and you can't really know until you kind of put effort into the thing. It's like obviously there's recognition on both of our ends. You have almost 100,000 subs, but people still um if they don't know about a game, just say it's just random game 2 or something that you're playing and people haven't seen it, obviously you have to almost rebuild that audience, and it's like starting from square one again, which kind of sucks. But also if there's a game that you're not enjoying specifically, that can kind of suck, like if there's nothing really out on the market yet that you like. But I think if you just find a game that's like you're like, hey, this is pretty cool, I just think like for me personally, it almost like renews that drive because it's like, wow, I actually really enjoy this. And he's like, I don't mind pushing out extra content and putting out 2 videos a day if I, put out like a 400 video and a DVD video just for it. But it's like, you do kind of have to rebuild yourself, and it's a little bit extra work, but,
Yeah.
I just think that's just my 2 cents on it.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I totally understand. I try not to make my content about the game. I'm trying to like make it more about like it's me
mhm.
playing a game. So it's if I can shift it to that, then I won't have to worry about anything I upload because people are like,
Right.
oh look, it's another Spliced video, not oh look, it's another For Honor video by Spliced.
Right. Gotcha. I think that's a really good mindset to have as well. So now moving into the latter part of the podcast, I do a little bit of just rapid fire questions that I kind of ask people, just more more light questions and just kind of get your take on it. So
Yes, I do like pineapple on pizza. Next question.
All right. Thank you for watching this podcast. What is your favorite game of all time?
Oh fuck, dude!
Throwing out the real easy.
That's a rapid fire question. Are you kidding me? Oh my god, dude. Oh shit. Okay, fine. I'll just say it. Dungeons and Dragons Online.
Dungeons and Dragons Online. Okay.
Love-hate relationship with that fucking game, man.
Gotcha. If you had your choice to make a dream character in For Honor, what would it be? Like just like weapon style and whatnot.
Oh my god, it would be like the Lawbringer, but it would be a more armored character, even more plated, and it would be double-headed axe.
That'd be
like the Raiders
cool.
axe, but like two head. Yeah, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I hate how they made the certain knight characters show their faces. Like that's just I hate that, dude. Just no. If you make a character masked, don't unmask it. There's a reason why people don't want to see Master Chief's face, okay? Anyways.
But and any of these questions you can feel free to pass if you just don't know it off the top of the head or whatever.
Okay. All right.
What are the most annoying comments you receive on videos?
Oh my. Oh, no.
I asked this one to everybody just to.
Oh no, dude. Oh shit. It's usually just like a bunch of shit where it's like it really just stems a lot from the stuff where you can just Google it kind of thing where it's like, when's Marching Fire coming out? I'm just like, I don't know. Let me just Google that for you.
Yeah. I think Gingy said the same thing.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's like it shouldn't bug you because it's like it's just an innocent question, but it's like, bro, I've been seeing this thing for like 50 times, dude, today. Like,
if I get another comment on what the Shugo rework's gonna be, I might actually go insane.
Yeah,
but
another one is like sorry, just to make it real quick, but like it's like the ones where it's like when people are talking about buffs and nerfs, whenever the devs mention like one little thing that's happening, for example, Shaman's bite is being nerfed apparently. No, it's not. They're just nerfing the ability for someone to do two heavies when she's biting you in a gank, and people are like, "Oh my god, Shaman's getting nerfed! Hooray!" And it's like, no, it's not.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
And another one is like, when's Warriors Day? I don't know. How about every Thursday at 12 p.m. EST since the beginning of time, dude?
Yeah, that one's.
Oh, yeah. Bro.
Google is your friend, kids. Remember that.
Or when I get backseated in a live stream and then they say like, oh, I'm on console, and it's like, well, you have input delay and 30 FPS and you're commenting about characters. It's like, oh, yeah. Oh god, dude. Anyways,
dude, I hear you. I could go all day on it too. Who is your favorite For Honor YouTuber and streamer?
Oh my god, that's not fair.
No, just it doesn't matter. You can have people that you like.
For Honor YouTuber and streamer.
You can go for just anyone you like watching.
Yikes, dude. Pass.
All right, Spliced. Taking the cop out. I see. Who's your favorite creator then? Period.
Oh shit. Fuck. There's so many of them. I guess I'll just say it. It's such a generic one, but he means a lot to me. And is like what he stands for on YouTube is it's a really huge thing for me. It's PewDiePie. He I've been watching him since he was at like 100k subs and just watch him change throughout the years. He's a huge inspiration to me.
I was gonna ask then, for that then, like biggest influencers that you look up to for doing it. So I'm assuming PewDiePie's probably another answer for that as well. Just looking
Definitely.
at it.
Another one would be Ouroboros. I watch him a lot. He's a live streamer. Another one would be Markiplier.
Right.
Summit 1G.
Oh, get some 1Gs in chat, please.
The thing I really like about Summit is he is not afraid to be who he is, especially like when it comes to controversial things. He just speaks his mind and
or punches his monitor.
Well,
that was yeah. No, Summit's great.
I can't help but feel bad for him when it comes to certain things like that. Like he punches his monitor and he knows like, okay, now I'm gonna get memed for that for forever, and like also the Molotov thing. And, it's like I'm not. I think I'm like at the age where I just like I get it. It's like it's a funny thing at first, but then it's like, all right, time to move on, you know.
Right.
So it's like those would be like very small handful of people that I really look up to. There's a bunch of other people, but I'm
Gotcha.
just gonna leave it at that.
All right. And the final question, Spliced.
Oh, no.
Should there or would you want a For Honor 2?
Only if there's Lawbringer.
So would you because I know
Only if there's Lawbringer, dude. If there isn't a Lawbringer with the same customization, no thanks.
I know like Illustruth was saying something potentially you could do it to where like all characters like movesets were completely changed and like they did different game modes and stuff that but almost had like somewhat similar of a like a same cast of characters. In a way you could do it.
Well, I mean, I only play For Honor, like the characters in For Honor or their looks. I don't care what anyone has to say. I don't care what anyone thinks. This is fact, okay? I don't care. I main all the characters that I main because they look cool, not because they're OP, not because this and that, okay? It just happens that I main Shaolin that everyone says, oh, it's the strongest character. Whoop-de-fucking-do. I said that at E3. The E3 reaction. You want to see the video? I reacted. I said, that's my main, okay? I said it before there was even gameplay. I mained Lawbringer. Lawbringer's still my main, and he's one of the worst characters. So if you're going to tell me that I main only OP characters, look at this. I main Lawbringer. I main Centurion. I main Raider. 3 terrible characters, okay? I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of people do it based on customization as well. That's why I picked Kensei and Shigoki. I thought they looked fucking cool.
Yeah, whenever someone asks me, like, what character should I main? Like, just pick someone that you really like the look of. Because at the end of the day, that's what you're going to be looking at. You can't win good if you don't look good, okay? Remember that.
Hell yeah, that's a motto to live by. Good stuff, stuff.
That's my motto, and I stick by it.
Good shit. All right. Wow, we've actually been going over an hour, which is kind of crazy. But Spliced, thank you for joining me on this one, guys. If you want to check out Mr. Splice, go ahead, look at the top of the description as well as the pinned comment. There'll be a link to his channel right there. Thank you guys for watching this episode of The War Room. Appreciate you guys all. Hope you have a wonderful day.
Oh, I have one more thing to say.
Go for it.
And for all my subs who wants to check out their heads, shoulder, knees, and toes, be sure to check out Tony. YouTube, he uploads Kensei gameplay.
Were you fucking waiting to say the head, shoulders, knees, and toes thing?
Longest time, man. Longest time.